Ladies and gents, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top and Sports Softball will return to Abaco this Easter holiday weekend with the annual Nigel Boodle Senior Men's and Ladies Fast Pitch Softball Tournament. The games will be played at the Murphytown Softball Park April 17th to the 20th, thanks to Friends for Life Committee.
In the past years, it's been predominantly fast pitch men only, and the committee, we decided to inject the ladies aspect into it, because you will make it the whole picture as we continue to try help build the sport of softball in the Bahamas. I think Bahama Games, I think we may be the only organization that really been catering to the whole aspect of fast pitch softball in the country, and we are doing our part. This year, we intend to have 4-man teams. The defending champs out of New Providence. They are formerly known as the Marlins. I think they're now known as the Gremlins. They be coming with a good start. We have a team coming out of Spanish Wells. Them and Long Island have a team mix. I think they named the Sigillians. I think the Lando Cartwright and crew, and the crew of the Spanish Well, along with a component out of Long Island. Then we have the local men teams, the GB All-Star, sponsored by Quality Wash and Press, Desmond Russell and crew. They be coming from Grand Bahama.
Next in sports, calls from Night League basketball playoffs, the Dudley boys scored the win against 8 Mile Rock Legends 102-101 in overtime to advance to the semifinals. In a sweep, Shamar Pinder was the leading scorer with 34 points in the win. In Game 2, the Gym Rats won against the Police Enforcers 85-80 to tie that series at 1 game apiece. Regis Cooper was the high point man with 30 points for the Gym Rats. Game 3 will be played on Thursday at 7 p.m. And finally in sports, Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors edge out the Memphis Grizzlies 134-125 to improve to 44-31 on the season, which moves them to 5th place in the Western Conference. Hield played in 20 minutes, scoring 8 points on 2 of 7 from the field. And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority.
Exuma is the place for excitement at the National Family Island Regatta. April 23rd through 26th, tune into the ZNS network for Regatta Time. Sailors from around the country will gather in picturesque Elizabeth Harbor for the ultimate showdown, and we'll be right there. Don't miss Regatta Time, April 23rd through 26th at 4 p.m. right here on the ZNS network.
Join us for Classroom Chronicles with host Miss Ebony Johnson, where teachers provide solution-based critiques about teacher-related topics in education. Join us as we discuss teacher morale, the real deal.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Well, that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Rico Knowles.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm getting off. I'm about to go look for Gwen. But that concludes us tonight. Here's a live look at the Bahamas Tonight coming your way next. Thanks for tuning in.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. A major shakeup in the Free National Movement. Central Grand Bahama MP Aram Lewis resigns from the party and joins the Coalition of Independents. We hear from the leader of the third party, the Prime Minister, and the FNM. Also, the Transport Minister responding to that U.S. advisory on the Bahamas as the country expects high volumes of travelers amid the Easter period. The Level 2 advisory warning of increased criminal activity. And concerns expressed about a worrying trend of dog owners abandoning their furry friends, leaving them on the streets to roam malnourished. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. One man down, the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Aram Lewis, announced in the House of Assembly today that he will no longer represent the official opposition, Free National Movement, but pledges allegiance to the Coalition of Independents. Reports had surfaced that the two-term parliamentarian and former cabinet minister in the administration was not going to be renominated for the next general election by the Free National Movement. Well, Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain dispelled that myth during his appearance on tonight's edition of The Rundown with Clint Watson here on the ZNS News Network. He said Lewis wanted to make a change in his political career because he did not feel the Free National Movement was progressing in the right direction.
It happened with Dissident 8. It's happened with Hubert Ingram leaving the PLP. It happened with Perry Christie leaving the PLP. We had other persons in politics from Tennyson Wells and others who said, you know what, this isn't the direction I want to go in. So he's decided the same thing. It wasn't because he didn't get a nomination. They have not rejected his nomination. He got no information that he was being rejected. And many times there'll be rumors going around, and in the end you still get the nomination. Right. So they didn't give him a letter and say, you're not going to be the person. They didn't even communicate with him and say, you're not going to be the person, as far as I know.
The COI leader responded to any concerns Central Grand Bahama constituents may have.
You participated in the process to allow that person to be put forward. And then they go into the House of Assembly, and the party is not necessarily what is on the plaque in front of him. It's the constituency. You're representing everyone in that constituency. All right. So it doesn't matter whether you voted for him as an FNM or PLP.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, weighing in on the resignation of Central Grand Bahama MP Aram Lewis from the FNM. Prime Minister Davis noted in the House of Assembly Wednesday that the move highlights democracy at play.
In our democracy, right, we have the choice, we have our choices to make, and we need to respect the choice each and every one made. So we respect the member for what he's done and chose, and we also respect the leader of the opposition for taking the positions that he's been taking, because he has the right to do that as well. Now, it don't align well with the member for Central Grand Bahama, but those things happen. That's the differences of opinion. That's what makes this country the good country, the best little country in the world that it is.
Meantime, Free National Movement leader and leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, carving out a few moments to address Lewis's departure from the Free National Movement in the House of Assembly this afternoon.
Thank you to the Honourable Aram Lewis for the contribution you've made to the Free National Movement over a number of years, and to say to you and to your family that we wish you the best in your endeavors. The Free National Movement as an organization has released a statement, Madam Speaker, that speaks more fully to the matter.
While Mr. Pintor kept his comments brief, a statement from the party noted that the FNM's executive committee has called Mr. Lewis's behavior into question on more than one occasion. Further, the Constituency Association recently requested that Mr. Lewis not be renominated for the next general election. The statement added that the party is moving to identify a replacement candidate. And tonight, Grand Bahama residents are also speaking out on Lewis's decision to resign from the Free National Movement and join the COI.
That's the best move ever for Ira. Okay, too long in the Bahamas. We have been here and we only thought about two parties, PLP, FNM, PLP, and there could never be a third party. And for him to make such a move, that shows volume.
That's a leader's choice if to run against another person or not.
I think that that's a bold move, and it's a move we need to see more of.
The man only could speak for himself, but my opinion, wherever he go, he'll be a good candidate.
Also making national news this Wednesday, the Bahamas is now among the countries targeted by the global tariffs levied by the United States government. Late this afternoon, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 10% reciprocal tariff on the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Jamaica. That will take effect at 12:01 a.m. this Saturday, April 5th. The Office of the Prime Minister issued a statement this evening acknowledging the new tariff, noting that the government will engage with U.S. counterparts and work collectively with our CARICOM partners to the new tariff. The government has approved a national trade policy aimed at diversifying trade as part of its broader strategy to protect the Bahamian economy with the announcement of a number of measures, including the development of a trade diversification framework. Well, Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis, shared some details with our Felicity Darville.
The United States imposing across-the-board tariffs today expected to cause even greater disruptions to the global economy than the tariff policies themselves. Countries around the world are bracing for the impact. China, Japan, and South Korea talking about forming a trade bloc of their own to protect their region. The European Union stepping up relations with South America and planning new trade agreements. And many countries are looking to Africa to secure food sustainability. Minister of Economic Affairs, the Honorable Michael Halkitis, saying that we were already in the early stages of a trade war.
So there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what will happen. The danger for us here in the Bahamas is that some protracted and severe trade war leads to recession in the U.S., which would impact us or even leads to a global recession. So we have to be aware. There's very little we can do to impact circumstances, but I think, as I said before, one of the important things that we can do is prepare ourselves in terms of how we manage our economy, how we manage our finances to deal with any sort of fallout. A lot of this we are observers. We see what happens today. We are in a wait-and-see mode, but we are hopeful that, you know, there's some resolution, and we don't get to an all-out trade war that would impact the economies of the world and us as well.
The United States, he said, is our major trading partner and the source of most of our resources. But the government is already focused on trade diversification.
The cost of living, for example, impacting the Bahamas so severely, we have a trade diversification committee that is looking at ways to get goods here more directly. So, for example, you have goods produced in Central or South America, the Caribbean, go up to Miami or Jacksonville or wherever, and then come back down to the Bahamas. If we can get them the very same thing, same can of whatever it is, directly here, then you cut out the cost of all that intermediate shipping. So we're looking at things like that.
The minister remains hopeful that our own negotiations with America will take place as we work to maintain the safety and vibrancy of our country. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Thank you, Felicity. Transport Minister JoBeth Colby Davis is tonight responding to the U.S. State Department's recent revision of its travel advisory to the Bahamas. The U.S. has issued a Level 2 advisory to its residents about travel here, warning travelers to exercise increased caution due to criminal activity. The advisory also singles out the country's boating industry, which it warns is not well regulated, noting that sexual assault by jet ski operators have been reported. The Transport Minister acknowledged that she is aware of some of the industry's concerns, and she confirms a review is currently underway by the Port Department.
We have been reviewing and assessing how we are processing jet skiing and the areas and locations where we have them presently set up to launch for our business for the tourist sector. And there have been some concerns raised. And so there was a meeting where they shared some of the concerns and they also spoke to recommendations. And the port is now internally preparing a report for me to advance conversations at Cabinet.
Still to come, the increase in stray dogs across the capital. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in a moment.
Step into a life of luxury and convenience with the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card. From earning premium cashback rewards on every dollar spent to enjoying comprehensive travel insurance, shop with confidence, knowing your purchases are protected. Our Platinum Concierge service turns your requests into reality, wherever life takes you. Let the Commonwealth Bank Platinum Card be your passport to exceptional experiences. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Hi everyone, when heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back now on your debit card. Accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Now there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up. Or the Jeep Compass seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
A 25-year-old man is in police custody tonight after Mobile Division officers made a drug bust here in the capital this afternoon. Initial details reveal that officers were tipped off around 3 o'clock this afternoon and searched a mattress box that was being collected by a man from a shipping company. Police confirmed the estimated weight of the suspected marijuana is 5 pounds with an estimated street value of $5,000. A new beginning for an elderly couple in the Bain and Grantstown community as the government steps in to improve their living conditions. Our Devontae Hanna has the details on the demolition and the dilapidated home and compassionate relocation that followed.
On Peter Street, decades of wear and tear came crashing down as a government-ordered demolition brought an end to what was once home for an elderly couple.
We have made a very conscientious decision through our Clear Hold Bill initiative to take this elderly couple out of this premise today. We have already renovated a government rental unit where they will be housed. We've put furniture there. We've provided them with food, with electricity and running water and proper bathroom facilities.
The home had no water and electricity, a bucket as a bathroom, and barely any furniture. Yet Kenneth Roll, who lived there all his life and later with his wife, says he made it as comfortable as possible. He considers himself a pillar in the community.
I try to be concerned about myself and my community. I have no record. I don't commit no crime. But I try to communicate with people and make sure that they're safe.
And even as the demolition began, there was still opposition by a woman who claimed to be the rightful owner of the property. She says it is her fear that this block can be taken away from her even as the government pledges to rebuild another structure.
Bring me the money and they can help me build another one. They offered to build him a house. He has clean land, there's nothing on it that he could build.
Florence Roll is the sister of Mr. Roll. Today, the Urban Renewal Authority co-chair Algernon Allen offered this response to her fear of losing the lot.
You have the assurance of the minister. You have our assurance as the chairs and members of the Urban Renewal Authority. That will not happen, not in this life.
Just a few blocks away on Finlayson Street, a new chapter begins. Roll and his wife now turn the keys to a recently renovated government-owned rental at no expense.
If the family members are so concerned, we ought not, as the government, ought to have to come here today to deal with this. But this is what you call effective social intervention. Clear, we're going to hold it and we're going to build on it.
Tonight, the Rolls can sleep happy and comfortable in their new temporary home. Housing Minister Keith Bell says there is a wider effort to address substandard housing in inner-city communities and vows to do the same for other elderly Bahamians. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, was the first foreign minister of the Commonwealth to call on the new Secretary-General, Shirley Botchway, at her office in London. Minister Mitchell brought greetings from Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis, and best wishes to her during her term. Minister Mitchell pledged the country's support in her work. The new Commonwealth Secretary-General, who is Ghana's former Minister of Foreign Affairs, assumed office yesterday, pledging to advance the values of the Commonwealth Charter at a time of growing global tensions and shifting alliances. Prioritizing inclusive, sustainable growth is the theme for this year's Eleuthera Business Outlook, all set for the Eleuthera Business Hub in Roxtown tomorrow. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Chester Cooper, will be leading the cadre of speakers on the agenda. Spearheaded by the Councillors Limited, the 2025 Eleuthera Business Outlook aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that are expected to be realized by 2030. For Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce President Thomas Sands, it catapults the island's business sector.
The Outlook series has become an opportunity, I think, to bring recognition to Eleuthera, to bring the players to us, to bring the subject matter to Eleuthera, to encourage investors, local businesses, persons who are thinking about coming home, to be in a space and engage. And this year we have the DPM present, talking about things like infrastructure, real estate, business opportunities, the number of government agencies as well coming to speak in terms of their various departments, but to bring that discussion in context of Eleuthera and what is happening in Eleuthera and where the opportunities.
This year's business conclave will be held for 2 days. Thursday's meeting in Roxtown, South Eleuthera, and the Valentine's Resort in Harbour Island, North Eleuthera on Friday. The Chamber President hopes that the move can attract even more business opportunities for Eleuthera.
After you live here and understand where you're at, you begin to understand the importance of all of us together and the participation of all of us together. And, we as Bahamians tend to get caught in our little circle. But the economy, first of all, the economy of the Bahamas is bigger than Nassau. And then when you get into the Family Islands, the economy of Eleuthera, and if we go through the line, is the cruise industry, the high-end resorts, the golf resorts, the vacation rentals, the fishing industry, the farming industry. It's a multitude of different activities, but they make the whole, and it's very important that we discuss that.
Dogs are supposed to be a man's best friend, but as of late, there's been an increase in the number of irresponsible dog owners allowing their pets to roam the streets malnourished and in need of medical care. As we observe Animal Cruelty Month, Bahamas Humane Society Shelter Manager Percy Grant is encouraging Bahamians not to adopt pets if they're not going to be fully committed to providing them with the best care possible.
The complaints of animal cruelty is increasing daily. People call, every single day we have 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 cases of people calling in of various animal cruelty, people tying dogs on short chains, no shelter, no water, no food. They go inside and watch TV in an air condition. And so we know we have a mental problem here too. We have the whole society seems to be, I don't know if it was COVID, but there was a big breakdown mentally from the things and the actions that the Humane Society see.
The large number of stray dogs wandering around on our streets could have a rippling effect on the way tourists view our country yearly. But Grant says before that happens, he hopes that the animal laws are strictly enforced.
We had the enactment of the Veterinary Act, remember, which was passed, and in that act, it also talked about citations that was in the AG's office, and we are still waiting. They were supposed to be from the AG's office now and on the commissioner's desk, the previous commissioner, and we're hoping that they would do these citations, and meaning I should say to use the word citation more American, more ticketing, where people be fined for various infractions of animal cruelty and animal abuse.
Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
Game 1 of the BAISS Soccer Championships kicking off at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome to your Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The private school soccer stars taking to the pitch on Tuesday for Game 1 of the BAISS Soccer Championships. Our Eugene Stewart roaming the sidelines over at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field and lets us know who picked up some pivotal Game 1 victories.
The BAISS Soccer Championships in the junior division getting underway yesterday at the Roscoe Davies Soccer Field. First matchup for the girls featured Windsor School and the Comets of Queens College. From the opening kick, Windsor would hold the Comets to strong defense as they worked their offense. At the half, Windsor would hold the Comets to a strong 4-0 lead as they continued to dominate. Isabel Kennedy would have herself a game as Windsor would secure this one 8-0.
Really, I was not expecting that, but I'm really glad with how I did, and I'm really happy. I'm really proud of my team, and I'm really happy that we have won this year.
Head coach Katie Roach says this one was a long time coming.
It's once in a lifetime, I think. I mean, I hope it happens again. I mean, that's the goal. But we celebrate all wins, the small wins, the big wins, and we use that as motivation moving forward. Just want to say this was 3 years in the making. Congratulations to QC. We lost to them 3 years ago. We didn't make championships last year, and this year we brought it home, so I'm very proud of the girls.
On the boys' side, the Lifer Key Dragons took on the St. Andrews Hurricanes. This one was all about hustle from the opening kick. As St. Andrews looked to find their mark, the Dragons would draw first blood and continue their lead at 2 goals at halftime. Looking to rally back from the deficit, the Hurricanes continued to fight, but the Dragons would conquer the Storm 5-0. Head coach Daniel Waitman on his squad's performance.
Always awesome to win a championship. These boys played really well today. It was a decisive win, and you don't always get that in a championship. So a lot of kids, all the kids, every single player contributed to the win today and getting us this far. So really proud of the boys.
Leader of the pack, Dirk Simmons, says it was all a team effort.
It wasn't just me, it was my teammates. They gave me the opportunities to go and goal and just score, so it's a big thanks to them. Me and the boys, we played great, we played good football, and I think we really deserved it.
Senior girls and boys championship action continues on Thursday. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Eugene Stewart.
Thanks, Eugene. Over to the track this weekend. The ageless wonder Tim Munnings dazzling yet again, securing a World 400-meter indoor title and a new world record to go along with it. He stopped by the ZNS studios earlier today and spoke with our Charles Fisher, and Munnings gave us his thoughts on the major feat as well as what's next in the pipeline.
At 58 years old, the former Olympian Tim Munnings has really gotten better with time. A new world record, 52.82 seconds, breaking and doing so in grand fashion, the old mark of 52.03.
I didn't even know what the time was. I felt very comfortable, very in control. I was just ready. I wasn't concerned who was in the race because I know that my preparations were there. I knew I won the race. I didn't know it was a world record until actually I went into the crowd and they said, "You got the world record." And then the German that won his race in the upper category also came over and congratulated me and said, "You won the world record." So once I heard that, it really made me feel really good, you know, even a little emotional, you know, but it was a good feeling.
Gaining lots of fans last year after winning the outdoor 400 meters, now indoor, he is somewhat of a Bahamian rock star.
I've gotten hundreds and hundreds of messages of encouragement, persons that are saying that they now are inspired to get back in shape and want to run masters as well.
For his time running indoors, it was not all good, as he was disqualified in the semis of the 200 meters.
Once I learned that I got disqualified, you know, I wasn't totally devastated, but I was concerned because the indoor track is a unique experience for me. I've never run an individual race on that. And so I said I have to remain focused because I can't fly all the way over here and get disqualified twice. And also the crowd was they were already familiar with who I was. So that was a surprise for me. And so they were like, oh, Munnings, you're going to do it. You're going to win. You're going to break the record. So I don't know who they were, but they knew me. And so I didn't want to let them down and the whole crew of my family that came over with me.
Tim says he has lots to be thankful for to still be able to go strong at his age.
I know I'm blessed. God has blessed me with good health and a talent that I have to make sure that I take care of and nurture. So being the outdoor champion from last year and now coming back and I guess solidifying that position really gives me a good feeling of accomplishment, like the hard work that's required to put in to achieve this is paying off.
So, what's next?
I mean, there are Masters events around the world. They don't pay like the elite athletes. And so I think at the moment, I will focus on competitions here at home. And I'm so motivated and inspired knowing that I'm the baddest man on the planet right now. Open Nationals, watch out.
For Zedna Told Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
And that's when we look at your sports on this Wednesday. A check on weather when we return.
It's a fact. Tasty Buys Instant Oats lowers cholesterol levels. So if you're looking to keep your heart healthy and reduce bad cholesterol, there's no better choice. Those wanting to lose weight also see results because Tasty Buys slows digestion, making you feel full longer. So if you want to lower your cholesterol, lose weight, and have healthy skin, try Tasty Buy Instant Oats today.
Need a DNA test to find out if someone is your father, your child, or your grandparent? Call DNA Direct at 324-0665.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royce. High pressure continues to build across the Bahamas, and that means we will continue to see some increase in our winds over the next several days. So some breezy conditions, not good for boating over the next couple of days. And your temperatures around the Family of Islands, we have homogeneous conditions in the extreme northwestern parts of the country where temperatures are around 76 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Turtle Key, and Marsh Abaco. The Berry Islands, a couple of degrees up at 79, 80 degrees in Allenstown, Bimini, 78 in Harper Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Allenstown, Kidd Island, 77 degrees, Black Point, Exuma, 79, 79 also in Camps Bay, Landros, and Fresh Creek in Central Landers. Georgetown, Exuma, 78 degrees, Rumkey, San Salvador at 77, and we're picking up some 78s as we head into Ragged Island, Clarence, San Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, McWarner, and Ackland's reporting 77, 80 degrees in Mattystown and Aguirre. The Turks and Caicos Islands, our neighbors to the southeast, they have a temperature of 78 degrees. And your forecast tonight in the northwestern parts of our country, looking at mainly clear, still windy, but a bit on the warm side, so you might need the aid of those fans or even an air conditioner tonight, with a low temperature getting down to 75 degrees. And then tomorrow, the breezy conditions will continue with lots of sunshine in the forecast, though. Beautiful out-day activities that can be anticipated, with a high temperature climbing up to 83 degrees. And your extended weather forecast, the beautiful lots of sunshine will continue right into next week. So we're looking at a nice stretch during the weekend, but those temperatures will become a bit toasty as we head into the weekend, with temperatures climbing or flirting in the mid to upper 80s. Nighttime temperatures, those are going to be in the low 70s for the greater part of the day. Right, sir.
That sounds good. Thank you, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At Tonic Williams Darling Highway, I'm Tijaro Hudson. This is ZNS.